Hey, so just checking in with you guys to see how you're doing because this energy is unstable. It's dense. It is causing all kinds of triggers for us emotionally, physically, spiritually. It's funny because spirit will play this song for me when we're kind of going through this kind of energy. And it's an old 70s song. And if you're younger, then you'll probably have to look it up. But it was this, do this, don't do that. Can't you read that sign? You guys know that song? I should have looked it up to know who, so I could tell you who it was. But it was like, do this, don't do that. Can't you read that sign? It's like all of this input, this data, all this like informational input coming in right now. And it's like, which way is up? What's the way that I need to follow? Where's my saving grace? What's the path of least resistance? And it's interesting because when this distortion comes through, and I believe, I have a deep believing that this distortion comes through on purpose from the dark side, from the dark agenda. And, we don't need to focus on that. We don't need to get stuck on that. But I feel like if we have that awareness, then we can understand that there are opposing sides that are happening. And it's not always just, like when we get caught in a rut or we're like, feeling stagnant or stuck or things are like not shifting or moving the way we need them to or want them to. I feel like if we do have the understanding that there is, more than just us to the equation, and yes, we are the creators of our own reality. Yes, our inner world then will reflect our outer world. Yes, all of that. But there is a certain atmospheric energy that we're all kind of like playing in, working in, right? Not trying to navigate through. And I feel like if we have that understanding, that awareness, that because Spirit's just saying right now, a lot of times when we're going through this stuff, we don't have enough softness or compassion or understanding of the big picture playing out. And because they're just saying right now, because of that, it hardens our energy. So meaning, if we are like frustrated about something, if we have like the feeling of frustration around something, there becomes like this resistance. It's like this energetic field is literally doing this, where we want stuff to be able to come in and flow, right? That's when we talk about ease, that's ease. It's flowing. So when we have that resistance, and there's, many, many different frequencies that create that kind of resonance, that it's like a push and pull energy, which makes things harder. Frustration, bitterness, anger, judgment, right? All of these kind of like heavier, dense, muddy, thicker frequencies, they create like that cloudy, that density, that, the stuff where, if you can imagine, it's like, muddy water. It's like it doesn't flow, right? Where when we want to bring in abundance, prosperity, ease, joy, wellness, peace, love, clarity, all of that, we need like that flow, like that crystalline energy to be flowing so all those frequencies can naturally flow through it. And what's happening right now is on the planet, there's like, again, it's like Spirit's just saying, it's like a wet blanket. It's literally like a damp, wet blanket that is making us feel disconnected, that is making us have lack of clarity, which is making us feel like we're stumbling a little bit. And you might know, and let me know in the comments, because the interesting thing about it is it comes in like waves or pockets. Like it comes in and then we're in that lull, and then we're, and I know I get it. For some, you may be like stuck in that lull longer. It may feel like it's like a really long time, or it feels like you're going down really deep and it's like, how do I come up for breath? Like how I'm trying to get to the surface to breathe. I totally get that, because a lot of us are feeling that right now as well. That's collective energy. If you're an energy empath or you're energetically sensitive, you're going to be picking up on kind of like everybody else's stuff. Spirit's just saying, you know, it can be a gift and a curse, right? So many times in my lifetime, I've been like, why? Why do I have to feel everything, everybody's stuff? Like, what's the purpose of that? And Spirit's just saying, thanks for reminding me, to transmute it. We transmute the energy, right? We bring the collective energy in. We are assisting those who maybe are not really good at transmuting or have a lot to transmute. So we're helping with that. That serves the purpose. And I guess that's kind of like Spirit showing me, for some of us, knowing that, having that awareness helps us to show up for the job every day. Does that make sense to you guys? Because I know it's tough, because like if you sat there every day and you're like, well, why am I picking up everybody's stuff? Why am I feeling everybody's struggles? Why am I feeling everybody's turmoil and, you know, challenges? Why am I feeling it so strong emotionally, which then, you know, affects my physical body, drains my energy, makes my, you know, my pain body, my physical body not feel great? Why? Like, what's the purpose of that? But Spirit's just showing me that if we have that awareness, and if we keep that, they're saying, keep that awareness close to our heart. Okay, so there's a greater purpose for this. And part of this greater purpose is that I'm helping the others. I'm helping the collective energy. It's interesting that they're showing me this too now, because there's, you know, there's that polarity and that duality between an empath and a narcissist, right? They are opposites frequency wise. But I feel like because we have so many incarnations, we have so many lifetimes that we experience, I feel like those roles go back and forth a lot. So I feel like for those of us who maybe, you know, have had lifetimes of being more narcissistic, so being more self-centered, more self-gratifying, more, you know, not caring about the collective, not caring about our, you know, fellow brothers and sisters, not being an energy transmuter for sure, being one of the ones that are like, you know, contributing to the instability and the chaotic energy because we're not doing or cleaning up our own stuff. I feel like those roles get switched. And so, you know, maybe for some of us who are, you know, the empaths now, the highly sensitive ones who are doing so much transmuting lately, like so much, you know, so much collective healing. I feel like if that's, because Spirit's just saying the roles being reversed. So part of that understanding is like, okay, so I may like hate this job because, you know, I may have days where I hate showing up for work because it's like, oh my God, can I just have a day where I feel just ease and bliss and joy, right? Can I not just have like all of that just kind of like flow into me? But no, then all of this collective energy shows up. So it's like, you know, you're back at work and you've got to get back to work and you've got to transmute this stuff. And maybe part of it is having that awareness of, okay, you know what? So maybe in another aspect of me, I was not this compassionate. I was not this empath. I was not this sensitive. I was the one contributing to the energies that needed to be transmuted. So yeah. Does that give you inspiration to feel like showing up for work now? Does that kind of like make you, Spirit's just saying that it'll help people to recognize the purpose of things. So things are not just random, right? Because it goes back to that song in the beginning, right? You know, do this, don't do that. Can't you read the sign? There's a million things. And it's like, okay, who's right? Who's right? Right? And Spirit's just saying they all are. It's all little bit of everything that's being said and being told and being shown is right. It's helpful. How do you decipher, you know, which is which, what's for you? That's called the inner work. That's where we go back to the inner sanctum, right? That's when we, you know, acknowledge our higher selves, acknowledge who we are, acknowledge the purpose of everything that we're doing, of everything that we're experiencing. Even if we don't like it, even if it's like, why? I feel like that's kind of the theme right now, is everybody's doing the why. But remember, we are explorers. We've come here to explore. We've come here to create. And we're creating together. We We are healing together. We are supporting each other right now through this. When you watch this, we are exchanging energy. So that's a start, and it helps us, believe it or not. So just do your best to ground as much as you can now. Try and get outside into nature, even though it's cold and rainy and snowy. It's, you know, even if it's just you're inside your house and your tree is there in the yard and you sit there and you spend some time just exchanging energy with your tree, that works too, guys. You know, we have to get creative sometimes. I feel like this is, you know, bumpy times are coming. Like, I feel like this is going to be. So I feel like it's going to be tough some days to show up for work, but we just keep on showing up for each other, right? Showing up, holding space, creating that union, creating that support. And, you know, we're doing this with purpose. There's purpose. Sending you guys huge, huge blessings.